Okay guys, so now we're back on the hero image again. I actually forgot to talk about something that was quite important, which was the responsive settings when it comes to the hero image. So we did the responsive settings for the menu. Now let's have a look at the responsive settings for the hero image. So here we have it at desktop. Let's resize it. That looks fine on tablet. Okay, so when it gets to about 768 pixels, it starts to act a bit funny here. And the blocks, like the navigation for the blocks in the navigation, seem to be a little bit, there seems to be a bit of space there which we need to get rid of. So let's go back into the grid editor here, and what we want to do is right click on the logo, open block options, and on the responsive control setting here we want to set this to 768, and we want to make sure that we've got the disabled block height checked. Okay, so I'm going to do the same for the other blocks. Right click, 768, disable, open block options for the social, 768, disable block height. So let's press save. Let's refresh this. And it's just a tad bit shorter, just a tad. So with this hero image here, it doesn't look very good either. So let's go into the hero graphic block, the cell sections block, open block options, and where it says breakpoint and section settings, we want it to break at 768. Okay, let's press save and see what we got here. Break at 768. It sort of shows us the same. So let's go to the below the breakpoint. In fact, let me open that up to 770. Let me press save again. See if that makes a difference here. Okay, so we've got our image on top, and we've got the text below. The problem is the get the app block seems to be cut off, and that's to do with the content area. So let's go to the below breakpoint, and the content control, we could change that to 30%. And let's press save. Let's refresh here, and now we've got that where we need it to be. Only difference is we've got this big gap on the top here and a big gap at the bottom there. So let's change that to 0, 0. So that's the top, 0, the side, 0, the bottom, we'll shorten that to 20%, and the other side 0. Let's press save, refresh, and now it's directly underneath. Okay, so let's make this a little bit smaller and see what happens. I kind of think that the image for the phone looks gigantic, so I'm going to change this down to like 80%. Actually no, I'm going to keep that 100%. I'm going to change the width to 80% here. See if that makes a difference. Yeah, that's much better. Much better. One other thing I don't like is the way that the menu is. It seems like there is just like too much going on, and it's as it gets smaller and smaller, it overlaps the mobile. So what we can do here, I think, is maybe change these menus to responsive menu. So let's go up to navigation, right click on navigation, open block options, and in responsiveness we can check responsive select and press save. And also I think the social media icons are not super important, so I'm going to actually get rid of them when it gets smaller. So open block options, when it gets to about 480 pixels, I want you to hide the block. Let's press save and refresh that now. And now we have the navigation sitting there, and that looks a whole lot better. Okay. We can add some custom styling to the navigation block as well. So we can do that by going over to the design view, and what we want to do is we are in the emulator here, so I'm going to right click on the menu and press to inspect element. That should bring up the developer tools tab for me. And here you can see it says media only screen and maximum width 600 pixels, so we can add some custom styling to this block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the background color to blue. Let's see what that looks like. Obviously we're not going to keep that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring down the opacity completely. And I think I'm going to add a bit of padding to the menu by about 2%. That's cool. And I think that we should change the color of the text to black. And I think that's, let's try the font weight to bold. That's cool. So I think I prefer this navigation than anything. Let me see if I can change the orientation. So font, text align center. Does that make a difference? No, can't do that here. That's fine. So let's just copy and paste this section here. I'm going to go into our CSS, and I'm going to add a comment, and I'm going to call this media queries. And I'm going to call this header navigation. I'm going to paste in this media query here. Now it's showing up an error because what we have to do is add a bracket here and a bracket here. Now let's press save. Now we should be able to refresh this, and that would get rid of all the styling that we've done down here. And it should only incorporate the styling that we've done here, which is done, which is cool. Okay, so now we can see that the website looks much better on mobile than it did before. And we can scroll as well. Don't worry about that gap on the top there. The only reason why we got that gap is because WordPress has its own little menu bar there and it's not hiding it, so that's why there's a gap there. But if I got rid of this, let's have a look, and I resized my browser here, Got rid of the menu bar. Let's make it small. You can see it floats right to the top. Okay, so now we've done that section, let's head over to our mockup and see what we have to do next. We have to now add this section here, which is pretty easy. We're going to make sure that this text has some animation to it as well. I've saved this image as a GIF. You can save it as a PNG or a JPEG, but a GIF to me is probably the best way to save this, so it's not so much of a big file. And I've already uploaded it to WordPress, so let's go into our blog index, to Visual Editor, click onto the design mode, the grid mode I mean, I'm getting it all wrong now. We're going to add another wrapper. And this wrapper is going to be a fixed, actually it's going to be a fixed grid with a fluid wrapper. And we're going to call this, what should we call it? Mindful. So set wrapper alias to mindful. And in here we're going to add our Soul Sections block, and in the breakpoints and sections we're going to add our title, which is Mindful by Design. Oops, got the wrong text in there. Mindful by Design. We're going to change that into a H2 tag, and let's add the rest of this text here. And this text here. There we go. Add in our effects, so I'm going to go fading up, fading up, fading up. 1 second, 1 second, 2 seconds, and there'll be a 1 second delay on these, I think. And we'll go to above breakpoint. We want to change the style to text content only. And we want to make sure that the content is aligned to the left, like that. So let's press save, and let's refresh and see what we got here. As we scroll down, you can see the text coming in nicely here. So if we go over to the design mode now, and we scroll down, what I'm going to do is, first of all, add a bit of padding to this wrapper. So let's edit this instance, padding. I'm going to give it 30 pixel padding, I think. Let me have a look at the mock-up and see how much of a gap we have between. So start from here to about here. That's 154 pixels, 154, and we can do 154 here as well. Yeah. Also, I think we should do a little bit of padding on this top wrapper as well, so we could see a little bit more of the. I'm going to give it a 60 pixel, no, let's give it 90 pixel padding so we could see the last clip. Let's press save. Okay, so now we want to add the size for the title, it's 48. So we're going to right click on this one, change the size to 48 pixels, and the color is 2525. Change that to 2525. And the same with the Mirrored Pro, same with this section here, the tagline. We want that to be 39 pixels. And the color, I think it's the same color. So we can go to color, change that to the, and I think I want to lower the line height a bit on this one because it seems like it's a bit, oh, it doesn't seem to work here. We won't worry about that for now. We could do that after. Let's put the text. The text here is 22.5. Edit this. 22.5. I think that may be a bit too big, so I'm going to drop that down to about 20. Bearing in mind we're using different fonts, so because of that it will look a little bit different. This font is actually called Cabin, but this font is Mirrored Pro, and I know that it's not Mirrored Pro. I know it's another font, so it's a bit difficult for me to figure out the exact sizing, so I'm just doing it by eye at the moment. So I'm going to put that at like, ooh, too big. 21. Yeah, I also think there needs to be a little bit of space between everything. Everything kind of looks a bit bunched up together, so I'm going to give a 5 pixel spacing on the top, 5 pixel spacing at the bottom, and press save. I think as well what I want to do is stretch out this block a little bit. So I'm going to go back to the grid mode, and I'm just going to stretch this block out by one more column. Press save. Go back to the design editor. Scroll down. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, never mind about this, the typos in here. We'll just pretend that we're happy with it, and that's how we want it to go. So let's make sure that we add the this image here. We're going to add now. So we want to right click on the wrapper, edit this image, go to background, go to image, choose, and I thought I did upload it, but I didn't. So I'm going to choose the image here, and press use image, and already you can see it's starting to tile, so let's quickly change that to no tiling, and the position we want is right bottom. There we go. And the behavior, we can just keep that as it is, and the size we can just keep that as, I think we can contain, no, we'll just keep that as default for now. So as you can see, the let's press save, move that out of the way. As you can see, the text is sort of sitting on top of the image, which is what we definitely don't want. and it's not really aligned. You can see that the image sits underneath the text, and that's what we want to go for. So what we can do again is add a bit more padding to the bottom of here. So I'm going to add a 300, maybe a little bit more, let's say about a 380, if that's any good. We can get away with maybe a 370, I think. Yeah, so let's press save. Let's refresh and have a look and see what it looks like in the browser.
Okay, that's fine. Let's make it.
Scroll down. And there we go. Easy as pie. So let's have a look over here. Now the line height looks a little bit better. And text looks fine. Mindful by design. Just wondering whether we should bring this down to like a 350. I think that'll be fine. Let's press save. So let's refresh this now, and let's put on our block resizer, or our viewport resizer, and have a look and see what this looks like on mobile. Let's go straight to mobile view. Okay, so as you can see, we've got our navigation, and we are missing a whole load of stuff here. We're missing the text, we're missing the background image doesn't really work as good. So let's go back to blog index and let's right click on this block here, open block options. What we want to do is set where it says above the breakpoint text only, where it says below the breakpoint we want to make sure that that is also text only as well. So let's press save. We don't want the content centered, we want it to the left. Let's press save again. Let's refresh.
Okay, that's fine. Let's make it. Hal, go, man.
Okay. So we've got our image there, but we have like this big gap, obviously, from the spacing that we originally did before. Let's have a look and see what it looks like on mobile. Sorry, on tablet. Okay. Okay. So what we can do is let's go back into the grid mode. As you can see, when you go into 768 pixels, it kind of doesn't look so great. So what I want to do is I want to stretch this block so it fits straight across the screen. So let me right click on the wrapper, open wrapper options, go to responsive, and then change the 768 to stretch blocks for mobile and press save. Let me refresh this here, and now it's stretched it right across, you see. That's cool. That's how we want it. Right. Now what I want to do is get rid of this background as well. So let me go to the design mode. Let me choose this wrapper, left click, and right where it says mindful wrapper, they've got this code icon again. We're going to click on that, and that gives us the tag for the wrapper. I'm just going to copy this, delete it, and I'm going to place it in here. Actually, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste that there like that. I'm going to change this to 768, and I'm going to get rid of this styling. I'm going to put put in my own styling here. So just delete that. I'm going to say background image none. I hope that works. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, let's press save. And now if we go here and we refresh, we don't have that image there anymore. And what we could do is maybe get rid of this padding as well. Let's go back to CSS and we can put padding. Let's put 2% and 15 pixels. So that means 2% padding on the top and the bottom and 15 pixel padding on the left and the right. Let's press save and refresh again. And now we've got it right to the top. That might be a bit too close to the top. So let's maybe change this to 8% and see if that makes a difference. Well, it will make a difference, but whether it's a big difference, yeah, I think that's cool. So that is it for this part of the tutorial. The next part, we're going to be having a look at this section here, and this section is where all the features, so as you can see in our menu item we've got features. This features link is going to scroll all the way down to this section here, and we're going to build out all of this. This looks amazing, but yeah, we're going to build out all of this in Headway, so make sure you stay tuned and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.